Tebogo Tekisho, better known as ProVerb, is one of South Africa's most respected pioneers and cultural custodians. From hip-hop MC to academics, boardroom leader, and wellness advocate, his new book, To Health With It, urges readers to embrace wellness across every dimension of life.
As you mentioned, correctly starts with an exec making a comment about my physical appearance. And you know what, at the time, I was hurt by it, but I also understood that, for the nature of what we do, it's necessary that, one is in premium shape, if such a thing exists. So that's when I began reflecting about my physical health, taking the necessary interventions. But along the way, I discovered that my physical health is only one aspect of my well-being. And I also embarked on a journey to take steps to address my mental health, my emotional health, my intellectual health, my social health, occupational health, financial health, and all the aspects of my health in the pursuit of a holistic and balanced life. On the cover, there is a fading hell as well. And it's to kind of denote the polar opposite aspects, where, if you can have a hell of a time, enduring these difficulties, but also you can go to the other side and pursue the health aspect of that. So it was intentional to denote that it is possible, to overcome the challenges and the difficulties in the pursuit of a holistic life.
His dedication to a balanced life positions him not just as a veteran of the culture, but as a credible voice on transformation and intentional living. Physical, mental, emotional, financial, social, and spiritual are the themes explored in the book.
In the book, I am particularly intentional about not only wellness, but also making sure to not be prescriptive and to say, these are the rules, these are the steps that you need to take to achieve this, but rather to say, these are my perspectives. This is not only my own experience, but also what I studied when I did a personal mastery course. But to say, let's compare it with your notes as well. If there's one thing that fascinates me about my learning journey, is that you learn to consider multiple perspectives in order to arrive at a conclusion. So this is almost juxtaposing my personal experience, academic views from other scholars, but also comparing your notes and to say, if this is what worked for me, if you compare that to what generally works for you, let's carve a new pathway. In the chapter where I speak about the loss of my mom and my grandma, this is all in the pursuit of mental health and emotional health as well. I did have to reflect on a lot of my traumas, but from the perspective of what were the learnings, how did I overcome them, if I did, So in the book, especially in the beginning, I kind of paint a picture of where I was holistically. So, we mentioned physical health, we mentioned loss of my parents. We'll speak of in the book about the poor financial decisions I was making, the lousy interactions that I was having, the quality of the relationships with my family and all that. And I almost establish it all by showing where I was, where it all began, and the respective steps I sort of took in order to overcome those. So yes, I did have to revisit a lot of my traumas and think about all those losses, but that was not the focal point, nor do I want it to be the takeaway. It's the learnings of what I've sort of drawn from all these life experiences.
Over the years, he has evolved far beyond the microphone. While hip-hop gave him his voice and platform, ProVerb leveraged his influence to become a media personality, property investor, corporate speaker, and published author.
Music is a big part of my life and was for a long time a big part of my creative expression. But since getting a greater understanding of myself, but also of what creativity as a whole means, I have since learned that it can be expressed in multiple ways, and music is not the only way to express it. So I'm still very much a big part of the music industry. I work at a radio station where we seek to create opportunities for artists, even established artists, to make sure that they get their royalties, their spins, their airtime, their playlisting, so that they can make a living from this thing. Because that for me was where my music career I was not able to leverage and make a living out of, even though that was never the primary drive. But because I was doing it at a loss, I then made it a personal mission of mine to ensure that that never happens to others. So when I was a co-executive producer on a TV show, I would motivate to get all sorts of artists to come and perform. Of course, I was biased to hip-hop at the time, so a lot of the featured artists I had motivated for. As I say, on radio, we create a platform. I even served on the board of the South African Music Rights Organization as a non-executive director. And again, the aims of it was to affect positive change into an industry that I love.
Now a successful broadcaster and author with an MBA degree. Channeling his experience into writing, ProVerb has swapped hip-hop for family and found success.
My daughter is now just finished her first year at university. My son, I literally got his results a few minutes ago, will be going to grade 11. And that for me was always my North Star with a lot of the decisions I was making. So a lot of it was just motivated by trying to secure their future, trying to be an example for them, trying to make sure that, a lot of generational traumas were broken and end with me. But I also let them witness my mistakes so that they can see that a perfect life is impossible, but one can learn, one can heal, one can just advocate for positivity. And so, my children I absolutely love dearly. Are the reason I work as hard as I do. If we revisit the conversation about my music, you'll realize all of the albums were book themes. From the book of ProVerb to manuscript to Write the Passage to Forthright to the Red Tape, all of it was always about writing, and I speak about creative health. So there's no limit to what that looks like. It may come in the form of more books. It may come in the form of producing more content. It may come because the world is going a lot more digital now. It may sort of surface in that way. So there are no limits to how it will be expressed. But putting thoughts down, documenting, is something that I will never stop.
With his philosophy at its core, To Health With It equips readers to reset, realign, and redefine their path to true health, not just in the body, but in every area of life. For Morning Live, I am Tapelo Moela.